Good morning, Soul Fam. Happy Friday. Who is excited for Friday? We have a long weekend ahead of us with Labor Day coming up as well. So excited to be here with you guys. I'm Nicole Gayatri. It's nice to meet you. If you are watching me live today, say hey and let me know where you're joining from. And if you're watching in the replay, also say hello so we can chat. I've turned myself in the room this morning. We're normally facing that way. So I've turned this way. And one of the reasons that I usually don't face this way is that now behind you are these beautiful French doors looking out onto the yard and all the beautiful things. And so I'm probably going to get really distracted. That's my ADHD brain for you. But hopefully I won't see any squirrels and we'll stay really focused and it'll be great. But all right, so if you have been following what's going on my page at all lately, it's been an interesting week. It's been a really interesting week. And also astrologically, it's been an interesting week. So we came off of last week having like the full moon, and we had, I think there were at least 5 planets that were all retrograde at the same time. And now Mercury is actually starting to go direct. So from now until I think around September 12th, things should be sort of figuring back out and becoming cool again. But for me, I'm still in this space of like, what the heck with sacred technology. I've been having a lot of issues with technology lately, and it's been causing me some frustration. So this morning I am, again, not sure why my Spotify will not play my playlists, but it's being really crazy over here. That happened on Wednesday. So on Wednesday, here on our Magic Morning, we were dropping into releasing sacred rage and being able to let go of anger through a practice. And my Spotify would not play the playlist, so we ended up having to go into Apple Music instead and grab a playlist from there. But it wasn't exactly as permissive of going to that space of like anger and rage. I usually like to put on some music that has a little bit more gusto to it so that I can feel like, yeah, I'm allowed to go big right now. Whereas I think we were listening to Oh Money Padme Home or something, you know, it's like it was a very gentle way to bring those things to the surface, and that's okay. You can do that. That's fine. But then that was Wednesday, right? Yeah. So the Wednesday evening we were going to a concert, and my fiance left early to go get some other things done, and I waited for my son to come home and have some time with him before the sitter came, who is my mama. So we sat down, and so I had been, like I said, processing during the morning practice, and then throughout the day I kept having little things show up for me, spaces where I had maybe lost my temper in the past, where I knew that I was like completely dysregulated, a space of complete dysregulation, just instances again throughout my last 7 to 10 years of all these spaces where I felt like I did not express myself in a healthy way, did not express my anger in a healthy way. And then there were also instances where I was noticing like that I had shoved things down, and so there was just a lot coming to the surface. So if you did Wednesday's practice, again, that was the sacred anger and release practice, which also we brought in, you know, releasing grief and releasing shame and guilt and sadness and frustration, all of these things, right? Because they all kind of go together. Like if you get to the point of being angry, if you get to the point where you need to rage out, that is really just hiding all of the underneath stuff that you didn't listen to when those things were happening, right? So those things kind of piled on top of each other until we got to the mountain of rage, right? So that's what Wednesday, you know, doing that practice here with you guys was also allowing my body to say, it's time to look even deeper. Even though I do these practices regularly, it's always time to look even deeper. I will say that growing up, I was a people pleaser. Yeah. That was my mechanism, my mode of being in order to keep myself safe. And so as a people pleaser, you don't lose your temper, you don't throw fits, you don't throw temper tantrums, you don't, go against the status quo very much, you don't argue with people, you don't, I was so worried about how I was being perceived and making sure that others liked me and wanted to either work with me or be friends with me or whatever, because God forbid I cause any friction or any tension, then the reptilian brain goes to abandonment and death, certain death, right? So as I moved into my later 20s and 30s, when my yoga practice became very important to me, and I really started delving into that and looking deeper into things, that is when I started seeing like, oh, I've stuffed a lot of shit down, right? I've got this mountain now. So I've made it my my job here to help others recognize that within themselves as well. So then bringing that to my son when he got home from school, I wanted to have this conversation with him about sacred rage. We've done practices. I've been trying to teach him tools for years about how to healthy ways to deal with anger and rage, but that doesn't always happen because of nervous system dysregulation, right? So we talked about that, and we went through this sort of healing pattern of things, and we did some card pulls even with the angel cards, and it was really, really beautiful, a really beautiful experience with him. And went through this like deeper healing together. Then I went to the concert, which was actually the bands Live and Stone Temple Pilots. So I got this like perfect opportunity to be in this space of like, as a dancer, music moves me. Like I feel music in every atom of my being. Oh, got a little phone call there, sorry. So every atom of my being, right? And my aura, even the energetic around me, like it really is affected. And it was a little tough to be there with so many people, but luckily we had amazing seats that kind of kept us separated from others, so I didn't have anyone right on top of me, so I felt safe in that moment even to continue processing. And Live obviously plays that song Lightning Crashes, and it's about a mother dying, and in the song she actually dies, she leaves her physical body completely. But for me, I got to have this experience of that part of me that has been so difficult for me on my journey, the transition from maiden to mother, and doing that without a partner and without having any support whatsoever. I was in a foreign country by myself, so it was like a very big transition, and it's taken me years to really feel like I am a mother. Like, what does that mean? And that I can show up as a mother, as the person who is completely responsible for taking care of these little humans and raising them and feeling like I'm doing a good job. That was the piece for me that was the toughest. I had so much mom guilt, so much mom shame, so much sadness, again, around the fact that I was doing this alone, that I didn't feel like I was doing it good enough, that I didn't feel like my son was getting what he needed from me somehow. And now these are all stories in my mind, mind you. I know this. I know these are just stories in my mind. But I know that a ton of other mothers out there feel this way and have these feelings, especially if you're suffering from any type of postpartum, which I think most mothers do, we just don't talk about it. That shift and fluctuation in hormones that happens after you give birth, and the fact that, again, you must die to whom you were before in order to embrace the maiden has to be done. She's done and gone. That's over now. And now you have to really be birthed yourself into becoming this mother figure and embracing that in every part of your being. So a lot of moms go through this this transition without much help because it's not talked about very often. And I think nowadays it is a little bit more. Again, I've made it my mission to sort of tell the truth around that journey because I feel like it was presented in such a different way than what I experienced, that I want to make sure that other mothers don't feel bad and know that it's normal to feel that way. So all of these feelings coming up, and then I'm at the concert and this song plays and I just want to bawl my eyes out. I actually just kind of went within and you know, again, did all this energetic work for myself. But then I got the gift of Stone Temple Pilots coming on afterwards and just crushing it. And their music is really, you know, gives you that opportunity to like thrash, right? And kind of rage. So I feel like that combination of all those things that happened on Wednesday, plus the fact that then I didn't sleep, you know, we didn't get home until like 1:30 in the morning, and I don't drink or anything. So it wasn't like I had a hangover or anything, but I had an energetic hangover, and it hurt so bad when I woke up on Thursday morning. I had to honor the fact that like I just was not able to come on video at 7 a.m. and do a magic morning practice. I needed a practice for myself. I had a ton of other errands to run, so I went out and I did all those things. I got my son to school, did all, you know, got all the stuff done that needed to be done, the grocery shopping, etc. And I came home and it was about 10 a.m. I came in here to do a magic morning practice with you guys, and my body just said, take a minute. Like, take a minute for yourself. So I laid down here on this delicious rug that I love so much, and my body just like was no. It said nope. Like, you need to move through that practice now as deeply as you intend to normally. And so that meant a lot of tears, a lot of the thrashing, a lot of tapping, a lot of jumping, a lot of movement and shaking and releasing a lot of that guttural sounds, and allowing just like whatever wanted to come out of my body to come out of my body. At one point I became like, I felt like I was catatonic, even like I couldn't move. And it was just the re-encoding of DNA happening within, right? It was like, okay, we are ready to release all these things. We are ready to release all these stories. We are letting go. And we are not only just letting go, but we're allowing in that space then that is being created, we are allowing for some reprogramming to happen. And I had this like deep feeling of the purge that needs to continue happening, to, you know, the release that needs to continue happening. And the word purge was what showed up in my mind. That needs to continue happening is that of then being able to create this space to re-encode. And I talk a lot about the reprogramming that needs to happen in your nervous system, but there's also a re-encoding happening in our DNA right now, whether you want to recognize that or not, it's happening. Some of it biologically from the things that they are putting out there and into our bodies, if you're receiving those sort of things. So these practices are becoming more and more and more like imperative, because even if you receive some of those things, you can actually cleanse that from your body in different ways. Different herbs, different detox methods, and physical practices are going to help you to release and let go of those things. So something to consider along with your physical practice, like things that you're doing here. And the mental practice then becomes of like being really aware of your mindset, because your mindset is going to affect the energy that you're putting out. So that kind of brings everything full spiral back into everything we've been talking about over the past few weeks. So yeah, yesterday I was honoring that in my body, moving through that deeper practice. I did end up having to go into the house and actually purge, which felt so disgusting because it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon by then, and I hadn't eaten since the day before, and it was awful. But my body needed to release those things, whatever that was. And then I had to really just take it easy for the rest of the day. Part of me really wanted to come on and explain why I hadn't been live earlier and what I was going through. But even deeper was like this need for just like, no, like this is a personal thing that you're going through right now. You need to take this time to, be lying down on the couch and not be worried about the fact that, like, yeah, my partner and I were supposed to be doing some work out back here. We wanted to get some things done, and it got put on the back burner because I just couldn't. I came outside and it was incredibly Florida hot and muggy, and when I tried to turn myself upside down to do the work that needed to be done, I was like, oh, I want to puke again. No, like, I've got to go in the house. So just being aware and not pushing yourself, not letting these societal stories that say, you've got to do this, you got to do this, you got to be here, you got to do that. Like, oh, I said I was going to be live at 7 a.m., but I could not honor that. I had to honor my body. I had to honor what my being was asking for in that moment. And I really, truly believe that, we are beings of divine nature, and that our sort of story is written already. And it's not to say that you don't, like, the story is written, but the story is written as like a choose your own adventure book, right? So there's every single moment you are making a choice. Choose your own adventure. Are you going to go this way, or are you going to go that way? Are you going to say that thing, or are you going to keep your mouth shut for now? Or are you going to speak your truth, or are you going to stuff it down, and then you're going to, the consequences or repercussions, or the way things play out based on each decision, right? But I think it's all written, like a huge choose your own adventure book web. And if you're going on this path, these are the things that are going to happen. You're going to take this and da. And so there's something that really just kind of gave me hope, if you will, with the sacred technology anyway, that, like, Mercury is now moving direct. Communication is going to get better. Things that are miscommunicated between people and conversations are going to start getting better. It's written in the stars. So I came in here this morning super hopeful that my laptop was going to play along, but thus far it is not again. So let's see if we can get into the playlist and have it actually play today. Let's see if it will actually play. It wasn't earlier, it was skipping again, but I restarted the computer just a few moments before we started. It's working. It's working, no, we got this. So in just tending to the body today, we're going to do a gentle yoga practice that is about, again, tending to the body. The big message over all of those stories was just to be a good listener to yourself, to your body, and what it needs in those moments, and to honor that no matter what is going on in the rest of your life, to just say, this is what needs to come first. My body, my health, my mental health is all taking precedence over whatever else is happening out there. So we're gonna start just on knees. If you're watching live, you can let me know if you can hear me, if the music might be, I'm gonna turn it down just a little because I'm a little bit further away from the camera. I also have new microphones and such I should start using. All right, breathing in. Just becoming deeply aware of how your body is today. If sitting on your knees is too much for you, you can sit cross-legged or in a chair. Just coming into witnessing mode. Noticing how your breath is entering your body. Noticing how it's filling up inside. Are you breathing down into your belly or into your chest? Just witnessing that now, wherever it is. Noticing your exhale. How are you releasing? Observing without judgment. And beginning to bring a little bit of control into the breath. Breathe in through the nose, fill up into the belly. Nice deep 8 count breath. And as you exhale, draw your belly in, empty out from belly through your lower torso, your diaphragm, squeezing out your lungs completely. Empty out all of the breath through 8 counts through your nose. And then inhale again for 8 through the nose. Nice and deep, full breaths. Expand through your backside body, creating space. Exhaling through your nose, draw your belly in. Feel almost as if with every breath that you wring out completely, squeeze it all out. And as you inhale, open it up and feel like you can expand to create more and more space. And on your exhale, wring it out, belly in. Good. This time we're going to use the arms to help expand. Raise the arms up overhead. Feel your lungs expanding. Feel your shoulder blades expanding in opposite directions as you continue reaching all the way up. Palms touch, and as you exhale, draw your hands down. Feel your pressure wringing out from belly to spine. Lungs emptying. Inhale, expand. Create space between every cell in your body. Exhale, release and let go. Wring it all out. Good. Bring your right hand down to the floor. Now reach your left hand up and over, stretching through your spine. Again, try to lengthen up out of your hips, out of your shoulders. Draw your shoulders down. Crown of your head stretching away. Exhale completely. And on your inhale, raise yourself up and all the way over. Left palm comes down to the floor. Right hand reaches up and over. Exhaling here, creating space as you stretch even more. Wring it out. Inhale, come all the way up. Let's do a few breaths back and forth now. Exhale here, stretch even more. Inhale, up and over. Exhale here. Inhale, up and back to center. Nice and deep breath still. Exhale here. Good. We're going to stay on the floor. Go ahead and shift over onto your right side. You're going to extend your left foot out in front of you. And this time we're going to keep your chest towards your foot as you stretch forward, nice and gentle here. Inhale, lengthen, still using your breath. Nice and long. Exhale, create space even as you allow yourself to lay over your knee, your leg, wherever you're at. On your next inhale, again, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, release, curl over, empty out completely. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, change legs. Facing your right side. Inhale, reaching all the way up. Create space as you exhale to come over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release, curl over. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, roll all the way up. Exhale, bring both feet out in front of you. Lengthen through your spine. And exhale, curl forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl forward. One more time. Inhale, lengthen. Wherever you're at is just fine. Exhale, curl forward. Inhale, roll all the way up. We're going to come all the way up to standing. So as you exhale, find yourself in your mountain pose. You're going to have your feet are directly underneath your hips, pointing towards the front. Pull in through your low belly. Drop your shoulders back. Nice and long through your neck. I just need to check and make sure you're not going to touch the fan when I reach up. Okay, I'm going to back up just a little bit. All right, inhale. We're going to reach the arms up overhead. Same breath that we did when we were seated earlier. Exhale, draw hands in towards your heart space. Three times. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, draw in. Syncing your breath and movement. Inhale up. Reaching your arms as far out to the sides as you can. Exhale, bring it in, down through your center. Palms rest at your heart. Good. On your next inhale, the arms are not, or the palms rather, will not touch. Your arms will just stay straight. And this time we're going to swan dive forward. So if your spine needs a little extra help here, or you're tight in your hamstrings, you can bend your knees. But otherwise, you want to be reaching forward, lengthen through the body. I'm going to come closer to you and turn towards the side just so that you can hear me a little better. So we're going to walk your hands now over to your right side body. And notice that my hips are staying here. They're not going to twist and turn with me. My hips are going to stay facing forward even though my hands have walked over to the right side. Breathe deeply here. If you need to have a deep bend in your knees here, that's fine as well. You could even be on a chair if that helps your body. We're going to walk the hands out all the way over to the left. I'm going to continue looking at you so you can hear me talk. But you want to let your head and your neck just release completely so that you can get the full stretch here. And again, don't let the hips twist. You want to keep them facing towards the front side of the room. Same direction as your toes. Good. Coming back to center. Inhale, lengthen through your spine. So you want to find a straight spine here. That can be either hands on shins. I even sometimes bring them up to my thighs so that I can really bring my shoulders back. But if you can get yourself further down with shoulders back enough, that's great as well. Exhale, release completely. Let's do that again. Halfway lift. Long, straight spine from tailbone through crown. Exhale, curl down. Inhale, we're going to drop the hips back now, coming into a seated position as if you were in a chair. This is chair pose. I'll come a little bit forward. And you can leave your hands here on your knees for support. If you want to take it up to the full position, you're going to bring the arms up and in line. So see how we have a nice straight line all the way down? From fingertips through hips, And I want to sit back so that my knees are not in front of my toes. I want to bring the knees back. And sit in your chair. It's intense. So again, if you need to bring the hands down today, that's fine. Breathe wherever you are. Pull up through your belly from your pelvic floor. Squeeze and lift. Inhale, we're going to press all the way up to standing. And exhale, release your arms out to the sides. Take a deep breath. Three centering breaths here, one more. Good. Inhale, we'll reach up again. Swan dive forward as you exhale. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, release down. Inhale, sit back into your chair again. Arms raise up. And exhale here in chair. Inhale, you're going to bring your hands to your knees now, and I want, well, hips rather. And I want you to take your right heel out in front of you. Sorry about that, we're getting lots of random calls this morning. So notice that both my knees are in line here. My foot's not way out here. I'm sitting comfortably, and all I've done is I've just extended my heel out. So you can have hands on hips. You can bring hands down for a little bit more support. But you want to press through your heel and lift up and back in your hips so that you're lengthening here. Shoulders down and back. And inhale, we're going to bring the foot back underneath you. Arms raise up. And exhale, bring palms down through center. Inhale, raising arms up, sit back again. Hands can come to hips as you exhale. This time your left heel is going to stretch out. And again, sit nice. Sit back as you lean forward. So again, straight lines. And then we're pulling through from heel and hip. They're stretching away from each other. Tailbone to crown, stretching away from each other. Nice deep breaths. Good, next inhale. Push through your standing leg to bring your heel back underneath you. Come back into Tadasana. Exhale, hands to heart. Nice deep breaths here. Good. On your next breath, we're going to open up so that my feet are about as wide as my wrists. So if you bring your hands out, your ankles should be right under your wrists. You're going to inhale here, lengthen through your chest, stretch up, up. And then swan dive forward from here. So crack in my hips. Keep your hips right over your between your ankles rather. So you don't want to come forward yet. You don't want to stick them back yet. Everything should be in line here. If your hands can come to the ground, that's wonderful. If you cannot reach the ground, you can be on fingertips. You can have your hands on your hips still, or you can grab a pillow, block, towels, etc. to have underneath you if needed. Wherever you are, lengthen and release. Let your neck go, shake it side to side. Use your breath here. On your next inhale, you're going to walk your hands over to your right side, just like we did earlier. Try to keep your legs nice and straight. Try to keep your hips square towards the front. Again, your neck is totally relaxed. Inhale, walk your hands all the way over to the left now. I'm going to keep looking at you, but you're going to release your neck. All the way down. Deep breathing here. Hips stay nice and square towards the front. Lifting through your legs, up through your pelvic floor and your belly still. breathing deeply. Inhale, walk your hands back towards center. And this time you're going to bring your hips forward. So you're going to walk your hands out in front of you and allow your hips to come forward a little bit. Not too far, but a wide leg downward facing dog. Still stretching heels into the floor as you reach up through your hips. Your tailbone and your crown are stretching away from each other, and your heart is stretching towards your toes. Deep breathing here. Good. Walk your hands back up on your next inhale. And then as you exhale, I want you to try to reach through your legs. Deep breaths here. You're probably going to feel that one much deeper in your hamstrings. Keep your neck loose, your belly lifted. And next inhale, bring your hands back through. Exhale here. Bring your right hand to center now. So again, hips are stacked right over your heels here, so that you should be in one line. With your hand down now, right under your shoulder, you're going to lift your left arm up towards the sky. So keep hips square. We're rotating through your spine. Lift through your belly. Notice, you'll see how I pressed into my hand. Draw my shoulder blades back, and automatically I'm lifted even more. So you can keep your head looking down towards your hand, or you can turn your neck up towards your top hand. Good. Next exhale, release. Your left hand now replaces your right, and your right arm reaches up towards the sky. Now notice what's going to happen. Your hips are going to want to start shifting way over to the right, but you want to keep them as centered as possible, and just twist from your spine. Again, you can look up at your right hand, or you can look down at your left. Draw your shoulder blades back and press into the floor to reach away. Nice twist. Exhale, release your right hand down. Take a deep breath here in center once again. So now we're going to bring the feet a little closer together, but we're going to let the knees drop down to the floor. We're going to do a frog pose. This is another deep emotional release pose. So because we're opening up so much in the hips here, this is probably going to, as we spoke about on Wednesday, release a lot of the sacral chakra things that might be kept there. So notice that my knees and my ankles are in line with one another. Maybe if I back up a little bit more. So I'm not bent in, I'm not way out to the side. My knee and my ankle are in line, and they are perpendicular to my femur bone. So everything is in nice right angles here. You can stay right here, and if your knees are way, way closer together, that's totally fine. I was a dancer growing up, so my hips are very open. But wherever you are at is just fine. You don't have to be all the way out like this. Now, if this is feeling okay in your body, if there's no pain, then you can start to bring your elbows down to the floor as well. Again, notice that my hips are staying in line with my knees. I'm not trying to push them back, but I do want to let my shoulder blades come behind my heart and drop my heart down. You can also come all the way down if that feels good to you. I'm going to stay up here so that you can hopefully hear me a little bit better. Breathing deeply. I'm going to back myself up a bit so that you can, there we go. So with these deep breaths here, fill up your belly. And then exhale, release. So every inhale, think of creating space in your hips. Imagine these oxygen molecules going in, and they are enveloping anything that's no longer serving you there, any emotional trauma, memories, things that got stuck away. And on your exhale, it's taking them up and it's carrying them, gently carrying them out of your body as you exhale. These are actually slipping way out. I'm sliding down. Deep breath. Inhale. Imagine again, every oxygen molecule is enveloping anything that's no longer serving you in your hips and in your sacral chakra area. And as you exhale, gently being carried out of your body. Relax and release. Relax and release. One more deep breath here. Releasing with gratitude this time. Thank you for letting go, body. Thank you for letting go. Good. Now, this might be a little difficult for you to get out of, so you're going to bring your hands first underneath you, and then you're going to push into your hands to bring your knees closer together. Okay, so you're lifting up. And now go ahead and either come to seated on your heels, or you can come into the full child's pose if that feels good. You can come all the way down in front of you, but let's bring the knees all the way together. So whichever one feels best to you, but with your knees together now, letting your hips relax a bit after that big stretch. You can even massage in your hip flexors, around your hip sockets, wherever you might still be feeling a little bit tight. Listening deeply to whatever your body needs in this moment. Okay. Go ahead and sit over now on your left hip and bring your right foot around. So you can either bring the sole of your right foot to the floor next to your outside of your left knee, or we're going to take it a little bit deeper today for those who feel like their body is able to. Make sure that both of your sits bones are on the floor underneath you, so that your left heel is going to be right next to your right hip, and then you can continue bringing your right heel all the way across in front of your left hip. Now, if that is not available in your body, again, that's totally fine. Just bring the sole of the foot down. You'll be doing it a little bit different than the rest of us, and that's fine. What you really want is your knees to be stacked over one another for this pose. Again, a deep hip opener and emotional release. So if you are able to get fully into cow face pose, then you're sitting here and you can place your hands either at your palms or the soles of your feet rather, or in front of your feet. You can also take a twist in your arms. We're going to keep it simple for the practice today. And just breathe deeply, because we really want to focus on the hips at the moment. Deep breathing all the way into the hips. Every inhale, envelop anything that doesn't need to be there anymore. And release in gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for protecting me and keeping me safe in the past. I am ready to release. Good. Okay, we're going to release this by taking the right foot up and out, and then extending the left foot up and out. And then we'll bring the right heel now to the outer edge of the left hip. So again, if you're sitting up nice and tall, just bring the heel back by your hip. And now your left heel is going to cross over knee, and your left heel is going to come over by your right hip. If this is too much in your body, then bring the sole of your left foot down to the floor next to your knee, and you can just sit up nice and tall here, okay? So whichever one feels good in your body today. And it might be different today than it was yesterday or than it is in a few days. So just listen deeply to where you're at right now. Breathe deeply. Nice deep inhale. What are you ready to let go of? Releasing it on your exhale. We've got the cicadas singing outside so loudly right now as well. You might be hearing a lot of that, I'm realizing. Vibrational energy. Here to shake things up and let go and release things. Good. On your next inhale, release your left leg forward and then bring your right leg forward. You're going to shake them out. Shake them out. Coming up now onto your knees once again. Just checking on our time here. Okay, we got 15 minutes left, so we'll do one last exercise here. We're going to take the heel stretch that we were doing earlier. Let's start with the left foot. Bring the left foot up and then out in front of you. Now notice that my hips are right over my knee right at the moment, yeah? So that's where I want my hips to stay for now. I'm going to bring my hands down to either side. And from here, I'm just going to stretch as much as I can. So maybe your hands don't want to come all the way to the floor, then you can keep your hands on your hips and just stretch your heart forward. If you have blocks or a chair or something near you, you can put your hands on things to support your body. But if you can, when you can, you'll stretch your heart forward, lengthen over the heel. So it's going to give you a deep stretch through the calf and the hamstring. Attempting to stretch your tailbone and crown away from one another to find a flat back if you can. Big breath. Exhale, release completely over your leg wherever you're at. And do one more breath here. Good. Your next inhale, walk yourself back up. And then as you exhale, bring the foot underneath you. Good. Take a deep breath here to center once again. And now extend your right leg out in front of you. Same thing, keep the hips nice and square. Stacked over your knee. Your right leg extends. And from here, either just tilting from the pelvis, or you can start to walk your hands down if you have blocks to support, or you can bring your hands all the way to the floor. Keep your hips right over your knee. You're not going to put them back. You're not going to bring them forward. You're just going to stay nice and square. And it's just wherever you're at today is just fine. I'm going to turn my whole situation a little bit so you can see towards my foot. Good. And I'm flexing through my toes. One more breath to lengthen. And then exhale, curl over. Again, wherever you're at is fine. Even if you're way up here and this is as far as you get today, that is just fine. Just breathing where you are and listening to your body. Good. Inhale, making your way back up. Exhale, bring your knee underneath you. We're going to open the knees a little bit, hips back onto your heels, extend your arms forward. We're coming into child's pose. So we'll stay here for a couple of moments today. Your forehead is on the floor. I'm turning my head just so I can talk to you. But your forehead is on the floor. You're relaxing and releasing completely in child's pose. gentle practice of being in your body, of being present with everything that's going on in your body. Another phone call there today. Sorry about that. So breathing deeply in your child's pose. Completely present in your body. Just letting go. On your next inhale, begin to walk your hands back up towards you. And then come find your comfortable seated position. We'll end with just some breath work. Once you find your comfortable seat, wherever that may be for you today, allow your eyes to close. And just bring all of your awareness back into your body without judgment, without the need to change anything, just becoming aware. So on your next breath, we're going to start this new breath work. On your inhale, I want you to imagine the air entering. You're going to breathe through your nose. I want you to imagine the air entering and going up through your sinus cavity, up over your brain. So it's going to cross over your third eye and your crown area, and then it's going to go down your spine. So it's going up and over, down your spine as you're inhaling, all the way down to your pelvic floor. Once your breath reaches your pelvic floor, I want you to imagine that now as you exhale, the breath comes up your front side body, through your sacral chakra, through your solar plexus, through your heart, through your throat, and it's going to exit back out your nose. So inhale, you imagine it coming in and up, going through your chakras and down your spine, through all your chakras. And then as you exhale, it's coming back up through your chakras, exiting again through the nose with your breath. So here we go. Ready? Inhale up. Third eye crown. Continuing down, back, side, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root. And now you're going to exhale through root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, and out your nose. Inhale, third eye, crown, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root. Exhale, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, and back out your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Third eye, crown, up and over, throat, heart, solar, sacral, root. Exhale, root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, and out completely. Keep using this cleansing breath and this circular motion through your body. Two more deep, full breaths. And just taking a few moments, bring your hands to your heart space. And take a few moments to honor your body in gratitude. To honor your breath in gratitude. And to honor your whole self. Here in this physical body, your energetic self, your spiritual self. Thank you for taking this time to show up for yourself today. Thank you for paying attention to what it is that your body needs on a daily basis. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy Labor Day this weekend, and I'll see you soon. Stay shiny, Soul Fam. Ciao.